So good afternoon to all. In our previous class, we discussed regarding costing concepts, right? In our previous class, we discussed costing paper pattern. What are the chapters covered under our syllabus? CME Intergroup 1 costing. What are the chapters to be covered? Okay. Apart from this, we discussed regarding the terminology called as cost. And what is meant by opportunity cost? What is the definition given by SEMA UK? What is the definition given by ICMAI? What is the difference, main difference? We can simply saying that cost definition given by SEMA UK, cost definition given by ICMAI, one and the same. Only one difference will be there, treatment of opportunity cost. SEMA UK specifying that, no need to worry, opportunity cost is always form part of cost without any condition. Indirectly meaning, no need to check any condition. Condition is there or not irrespective. Such opportunity cost is always form part of cost. It means opportunity cost also treated as cost. However, coming to ICMAI, opportunity cost is a form part of cost subject to condition. If the conditions are satisfied, such cost should be referred as, such sacrificing cost should be referred as cost. Otherwise, it will not be form part. What is the condition? Such sacrificing cost forming part of the business or are during the business or arise during the business. Number 2. Such sacrificing cost can be measured in terms of money. If both the conditions are satisfied, in that situation, opportunity cost or our sacrificing cost can be referred as or our form part of cost. We already discussed in the previous class with the example also. Now, what is meant by opportunity cost? What is meant by opportunity cost? We already told. See, in practical world, for the purpose of taking decision, so many options are there. I can choose anyone, but I will choose in my interest, the best option only I will choose. Is it right? While I am selecting the best option, whatever not selecting, that cost will be referred as opportunity cost. In our real example, we told, or you remember, saree wholesale business is there, or retail business is there, they are expanding into one more branch. There are two options, to create the FD in the Axis Bank. Option 2, open new branch at Chennai. Which one is the best? It depends upon the business. Again, I am telling. If option 1 is choosing, option 2 sacrificing cost. If option 2 is choosing, option 1 will be referred as opportunity cost or sacrificing cost, obviously. Is it right? Correct? Yes. Now, listen carefully. Up to now, we discuss. We will discuss certain extent in our layman language and then we will check the concept book, whatever given in the book. No need to worry. We will read the book again. Is it clear? All the topics in the books will be covered. Whatever concept books is given, see, whatever concept book is given, we will read and whatever important we will underline. First, we will discuss in a layman manner. Is it right? If I discuss as it is, for example, if I discuss this para, after studying I am explaining, it look like by reading simply is not explaining. I am not getting everything. Like that feeling will getting to the student. That is the reason I will discuss in my notes first and then we will go for next one. Is it right? Correct? Excellent. See. Just wait. Yes. Listen carefully. The term called as manufacturing cost. What is the term? Come on. What is the terminology? Manufacturing. What is meant by manufacturing cost? Most important. From this onwards, we will segregate all the chapters and we will link. Why costing group 1 syllabus is so many chapters are there? We will link it. Okay. Manufacturing cost means any cost which is incurred by the organization for the purpose of manufacturing of goods or rendering of services is called manufacturing cost. Is called manufacturing cost. Listen carefully. Manufacturing cost means they clearly indicated any cost, anything. No need to worry. Listen carefully. Okay, I will give time to copy. But if you have any habituation of writing along with me, you can. Otherwise, I will give some time to copy entire the data, whatever discussed in the classroom. Clear? So listen. Manufacturing cost means what ma? Any cost. What ma? Any cost. Which is incurred by whom ma? Organization. When they are incurred? 2 times. At the time of manufacturing goods or at the time of rendering of services. That is the reason in day 1 class itself I indicated. Costing is applicable to manufacturing industry, service industry. Not applicable for trading industry. That is the reason they told at the time of manufacturing goods, at the time of rendering of services, whatever cost incurred by the organization is called manufacturing cost. Is it clear, my dear? At the time of manufacturing, at the time of rendering of services, if any of the situation I incurred as an entity, how much I incurred amount, such amount shall be referred as manufacturing. If I, listen carefully, if I as an entity, I incurred certain expense for the purpose of selling of the goods, not for the purpose of manufacturing, that is called SOH, selling and distribution cost. Manufacturing cost is different from selling and distribution cost. Is it clear? Clear, huh? Next, one more thing. Listen carefully. I incurred cost for the purpose of manufacturing cost. I incurred cost for the purpose of sales, SOH. I incurred cost for the purpose of office purpose, AOH. AOH means administrative overhead. We can call it as office and administrative overhead. Office and administrative overhead. Is it clear? Clear? Excellent. Here, one word or one thing you have to remember. Packing expense. Why? Because they are testing in MCQs. Packing expense. Listen carefully. Is it visible? Is it visible? What is this? Battery. Okay. Listen carefully. This is a company of Duracell. What is the purpose of battery? Electronic item should be active. Maybe remote, maybe mic, maybe any other electronic item. Such item should be active. Such item should be worked with the help of this power. Is it clear? If you ask a science background fellow, with the help of battery, how electronic item will be worked means, in this internally some chemicals will be there. Some chemicals will be there. Whatever chemical, see, our main intention to use the battery, what is the use? Electronic item should be used. Remote should be used. Is it right? Our main intention, body or in between the internal chemical. Internal chemical is most important rather than body. But by giving chemical, we can't use. That is the reason they are molding a steel body or aluminum body. This is called packing. For example, listen. Here, some more batteries is there. Battery is given like this, or like this. It means this is also packing. If you observe, for chemical, body is constructed. This is called primary packing. If I sell like this is called secondary packing. Is it right, my dear? Is it right? Now tell me, packing how many types? Two types. What is this? Primary packing, secondary packing. Primary packing intention should be finished good structure should be given. My intention to the primary packing, finished good structure should be made. Secondary packing will be made by the entity for the purpose of sale. Is it right? Clear? Is it clear? If I go to shopkeeper, I want one battery. They will give like this. No, they will give one tear out. Is it right? Correct? So, packing will be two types. What is the packing? Primary packing, secondary packing. Primary packing, what is the intention? To get the appropriate structure. See, chemical. If I give chemical, can you insert in the remote? Can't. If I give like this battery, can you insert in the remote? Answer is yes. It means primary packing will be referred as POH. Primary packing is equal to POH. POH is also known as manufacturing cost. Is it clear, my dear? Manufacturing cost, alternative name? POH. POH full form? Production overhead or production cost. Manufacturing cost. Works cost. WORKS. Works cost. ORR factory cost. ORR factory cost. Is it clear? Why? Because they will test in the MCQ. One MCQ, if you go into wrong, 2 marks will lost. One MCQ cost is equal to 2 marks. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me, packing, is it primary? Sorry, packing, is it POH or AOH or SOH? Don't tell primary or secondary. You have to check. Primary packing means POH. Secondary packing means SOH. Why SOH? Such secondary packing intention to sell such product to the customer. Is it right, my dear? Correct? Now tell me, secondary packing, SOH. Primary packing, POH. Alternative name for POH? Manufacturing overhead, MOH. Alternative name? Factory overhead. Alternative name? Works overhead. Which name should be remembered? All the names should be remembered. For one attempt, they will give MOH. For one more attempt, POH. One more attempt, FOH. Different names they will ask and confuse you. Is it clear? Clear? Excellent. Now tell me, manufacturing cost. For example, they clearly mention packing will be referred as small a, manufacturing cost. Small b, AOH. Small c, both A and B, D none. Which one should be selected? Listen carefully. Packing is a expense of small a, POH they gave. Small b, AOH they gave. Small c, both A and B. Small d, none of the above. Which one should be selected? POH. Why POH? Question paper is not told primary packing, but in the option, the best option only we will be selected. Is it clear? Clear? Excellent. Now, only one item will be two types. Certain situation, manufacturing cost, certain situation, SOH. Is it right? Is it clear? Now tell me, what is meant by manufacturing cost? Please participate. Please participate in the class. What is meant by manufacturing cost? Any cost which is incurred by the organization for the purpose of manufacturing of goods or rendering of services is called manufacturing cost. Now, we have to understood, my dear, they clearly specified any cost. They clearly specified any cost. Any cost means total cost. Any cost means, my dear, total cost. Now tell me, what is meant by any cost? Total cost. What is meant by any cost? Total cost. Total cost can be segregated into two types. Total cost can be segregated into how many types? Two types. What? Direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost, indirect cost. Clear? Now tell me, my dear friend, What is meant by any cost? Come on. Total cost. What is the segregation of total cost? Two types. Total cost can be segregated into two types. Direct cost, indirect cost. Clear? Is it clear? Excellent. Listen carefully. If you, listen. If you observe the finished good, any finished good, minimum, if you apply minimum common sense, you can, at least you can realize this thing will be incurred. For example, if you see the shirt, what can you observe? In the view of manufacturing shirt, cotton is an expense. Cotton is converted into thread. Thread is also expense. Thread are stitching into a cloth. Cloth is stitching into shirt. Certain expenses will easily recognize. That is called direct cost. If any cost, listen, if any cost which is easily recognized, which is easily traceable, the word should be traceable, is called what? Direct cost. Which is not easily traceable, even though you are experienced in the business field, unless otherwise open the books of costing. If you open the books of costing, you are realizing this is also cost. We can't tell without books of costing. We can't traceable easily. That is called indirect cost. Is it clear? What is the alternative name of direct cost? Traceable cost. What is the alternative name for indirect cost? Non-traceable cost. Non-traceable cost. What is meant by traceable cost? Traceable cost means cost which is easily traceable by observing the finished good. If you observe the finished good, if you have minimum knowledge about finished good, then only you will traceable. You don't have any business knowledge regarding such finished good, you can't trace. In that scenario, all costs will be non-traceable. Don't tell like that. Minimum business knowledge should be there and traceable cost should be easily. Any cost easily traceable is called traceable cost or direct cost. Which is not easily traceable is called indirect cost or non-traceable cost. Is it clear, my dear? Clear? Now tell me, what is meant by any cost? Total cost. Total cost can be segregated into two types. What? Direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost is also known as traceable cost. Indirect cost is also known as non-traceable cost or untraceable cost. We can say anything. Non-traceable cost or untraceable cost. Is it clear? Clear? Excellent. Now listen carefully. Direct cost can be classified into three types. Direct cost can be classified into how many types? Three types. What? Direct material, direct labor, direct expense. Now tell me, direct cost can be classified into how many types? What? Direct material, direct labor, direct expense. Indirect cost can be classified into three types. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense. Is it clear? Now tell me, what is meant by total cost? Any cost. Excellent. Total cost can be classified into what? Direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost can be classified into three types. DM, DL, DE. Full name of DM, direct material. Full name of DL, direct labor. Full name of DE, direct expense. Indirect cost can be classified into three types. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense. See, direct material 5 rupees, direct labor 3 rupees, direct expense 1 rupee. What is the total? What is the total? 9 rupees. Correct? What is the total? 9 rupees. How 9 rupees is getting? Direct material 5 rupees, added 3 rupees, added 1 rupee. 9 rupees is referred as prime cost. 9 rupees is referred as what, ma? Prime cost. Now tell me, my dear, direct material, direct labor, direct expense, all the things are added, we will get the result called as prime cost. Prime cost. Clear? If you observe all the story, we will realize what is the consequence, how subject is going on. Clear? Now tell me, direct cost how many types? Three types: DM, DL, DE. Listen, how prime cost is getting? Direct material plus or minus plus direct labor plus direct expense. Instead of using plus, they are using aggregate of direct material, direct labor, direct expense. Listen, what is meant by prime cost? I am asking. Sir, DM plus DL plus DE. Instead of using the plus symbol, they are using aggregate. Aggregate means total. Total means plus. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me, what is meant by prime cost? The aggregate of direct material cost, direct labor cost, direct expense is called prime cost. Is it clear? Clear? Now, aggregate of indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense, or in layman language, indirect raw material plus indirect labor plus indirect expense is equal to overhead. All the direct cost is aggregate is called prime cost. All the indirect cost should be aggregate is called overhead. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me, my dear, what is meant by any cost? Total cost. Total cost can be classified into how many types? Two types. What? Direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost can be classified into three types: DM, DL, DE. Indirect cost can be classified into three types: IDM, IDL, IDE. Is it clear? Clear? And now listen carefully. Just wait. Yes. Listen carefully. Overhead can be classified into two types. Overhead can be classified into how many types? Two types. What? Based on function, based on variability. Now tell me, overhead can be classified into how many types? Two types. Number one, overhead is based on function. Overhead based on variability. Overhead based on function, it can be classified into three types: POH, AOH, SOH. Is it clear? Clear? Excellent. Now tell me, overhead can be classified into how many types? Two types. Based on their function, based on their variability. Based on their function, overhead how many types? Three types. POH, full form, production overhead. AOH, administrative overhead. SOH, selling and distribution overhead. POH is also known as FOH. Instead of POH, we can use FOH. FOH means factory overhead. Instead of FOH, we can use MOH, means manufacturing overhead. Instead of manufacturing overhead, we can use WOH, means works overhead. Which name should be remembered? All the names should be remembered. Why? Because sometimes they ask like a POH. Sometimes they give the FOH. Sometimes they will give WOH. Sometimes they will ask like a MOH. Any name can ask. Clear? Attempt to attempt, they will change the terminology. In some certain attempts, they will give as a manufacturing overhead. In certain attempt, they will give factory overhead. In certain attempt, production overhead. So in certain attempt, works overhead. Problem to problem, terminology changed. But whatever name called, only one name. Only one name. They have alternative names. POH alternative name, FOH, MOH, WOH. Is it clear? Please respond. So based on the function, how many types? Three types. POH, AOH, SOH. POH alternative names how many? Three. M, W, F. Is it clear? Clear? Confused? No. So for example sake, direct material 5 rupees we used earlier. Direct labor 3 rupees. Direct expense 1 rupee. What is the prime cost? 9 rupees. What is the prime cost, my dear? Listen carefully. Now, POH 0.2. POH how much? 0.2. AOH 0.3. SOH 0.1. Clear? What is the prime cost? 9. What is the prime cost value given in the example? Prime cost value plus POH. Which one we are adjusting? Prime cost plus or minus? Plus what? POH. Result will be referred as factory cost. Result will be referred as what, ma? Factory cost. How much? 9.2. Is it clear? Clear? We are adjusting factory cost with AOH. Result will be referred as cost of goods produced. How much? 9.5. 9.5. Name COGP. What is the meaning of COGP full form? Cost of goods produced. Is it clear? Clear? If you cost of goods produced, if you adjusted with SOH, result will be referred as cost of sales or total cost. We can call cost of sales. Alternative name for cost of sales? If you remember, where the starting point? Total cost. We arrive total cost. Is it clear? Excellent. Now, for total cost, if you adjust profit, business always get profit. In sometimes they will get loss. If loss is there, minus. Hello. Profit or loss only one time is exist. Profit is there, loss will not be there. If loss is there, profit will not be there. Subject to condition, I assume that business is equal to only one. If one organization having 2-3 business, one business profit, one more business loss, one more business might be profit. I assumed as my entity having only one business. For example, Reliance. Reliance Petroleum is there. Reliance Digital is there. Reliance Fresh is there. Reliance Smart is there. Different portfolios is there. In that scenario, such business may get one business profit, one business loss. If business only having one type of business, then profit or loss only one. Are you confusing? No. Yes. So cost of sales plus profit. If you get loss means minus is equal to sales. Is equal to what, ma? Sale. Now tell me, my dear friend, what is meant by any cost? Total cost. Total cost can be classified into how many types? 2 types. Direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost can be classified into how many types? 3 types. DM, DL, DE. Indirect cost can be classified into how many types? 3 types. IDM, IDL, IDE. All the direct cost is aggregated is equal to prime cost. All the indirect cost is aggregated into overhead. Overhead can be classified into 2 types. Based on their function, based on their variability. Based on their function, POH, AOH, SOH. Prime cost plus POH is equal to factory cost. Factory cost plus AOH. Cost of goods produced. Cost of goods produced plus AOH. Cost of sales over total cost. If you get profit, add. If you get loss, deduct or minus is equal to sales. What? Listen carefully. Whatever the chart draft. This is a chart na. Hello. Chart or para na? Chart. If you, this chart is converted into statement. If you convert this chart into statement, such statement is called cost sheet. Is it clear? This chart is converted into which form? Statement form. Such statement is called cost sheet. Is it clear? Is it clear? We will draft the statement and then we will going forward. Okay. First, and the above chart is converted into what form? Such statement form is called. So, the above chart is converted into a statement. Such statement is referred as what ma? Cost sheet. Correct? Clear? Now listen carefully. What is the first line? Direct material, something amount. Direct labor, something amount. Direct expense, something amount. We will get prime cost. Correct? Same thing is done in the chart. We will consider DM first. DL, DE. What we got? Prime cost plus what? P or F or M or W. It means plus P, F, M or WOH. Referred as factory cost. Referred as what ma? Factory cost. Plus what we added? AOH. AOH. We will get what? Cost of goods produced plus SOH will be referred as cost of, come on, cost of goods produced plus SOH is equal to cost of sales, alternative name total cost, plus profit. If you get loss means minus. That is the reason we are inserted in a bracket. Clear? We will get what ma? Sales. This statement is called what ma? This statement is called what? Cost sheet. Correct? Correct? Listen ma. Listen carefully. In our example, what is the direct material we consider? 5. Labor 3. Overhead, sorry, direct expense 1. Total prime cost 9. POH 0.2. 9.2. Correct? Yes. AOH we consider 0.3. 9.5. 0.1. 9.6. Just assume 11. What is the profit? 9.6 total cost. We are selling at 11 rupees. What is the profit? 1.4. Correct? What is this statement? What is the statement? Correct? Listen carefully. Listen. My doubt will be, what is the direct material cost? What is the direct material cost? In our example we consider. What ma? Instead of 5 rupees, if I take as a 7, instead of 5 rupees, I considered 7. Still 11 is there or changed? Changed, this value will be changed or not? Obviously changed. Instead of 5, instead of 7, if I use 2 rupees, this 11 is changed or not? Increase, decrease, secondary. Changed or only 11 is getting changed? Listen, here 5 rupees means 11. Instead of 5, if you use 7, this 11 also changed. Instead of 5, 7, if I use 2 rupees as a direct material, 11 rupees is changed. Now tell me, what is the original value? What is the correct value? 5 rupees correct or 7 or 2 rupees? 5 or 3 or 7, sorry, 5 or 7 or 2 rupees. Which one correct? We don't know. We don't know. That is the reason we are studying material chapter. Upcoming days, chapter called as what ma? Material. Material chapter will be studied to get the knowledge. How much direct material cost? Whether 5 or 7 or 2 rupees. Are you getting my point? So many students I saw in my teaching life. Okay. Why to study material costing? If you ask the same inter-qualified student also, they are simply telling, I don't know. They are forming part of syllabus. 4 marks is coming in my attempt. Like that stories is given by the student. Not like that. Don't learn in that manner. Syllabus is there, I will study. Don't go in that manner. We have to know the every background, why to that chapters will be there. Now tell me, direct material chapter will be helpful to fill up the cost sheet as a first line item. Clear? What is the direct labor amount? In our example, what is the direct labor amount given? 3. Instead of 3, if I use 1 rupee, 11 is changed. If I use instead of 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 11 is changed. Now tell me, 3 rupees correct, 1 rupee correct, 2 rupees correct. That is the reason we are studying labor chapter. Is it right? Correct? Now tell me, why to study labor chapter? To know the second line of cost sheet. Otherwise, to know the labor cost should be filled in the cost sheet. Correct? What is the direct expense amount is considered in our example? Instead of 1 rupee, 0.3. 11 is changed. Now tell me, 1 rupee correct or 0.3 correct? We don't know. That is the reason we are studying, we should study direct expense chapter called as CAS 10. Cost accounting standard number 10 should be studied. Why to study direct expense chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Now tell me, why to study material chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study labor chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study direct expense? To fill up the cost sheet. Now, what is the POH amount? 0 point. Is it correct? We don't know. What is the AOH amount? 0.3. Is it correct? We don't know. What is the SOH amount? 0.1. Is it correct? We don't know. That is the reason we are going to study overhead chapter. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now tell me, my dear, why to study material chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study labor chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study direct expense chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study overhead costing? To fill up the cost sheet. These chapters will be referred as elements of costing. What are the chapters? Material, labor, direct expense, overhead. These 4 chapters will be referred as what, ma? Elements of costing. Is it clear? 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 Excellent. One more question. Why to study material chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study labor chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study direct expense? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study overhead? To fill up the cost. Why cost sheet should be filled up? That is the main question. Huh? Whatever chapter will be studied, what I am asking reason, you are telling always to fill up the cost sheet, to fill up the cost sheet. Why to study fill up the cost sheet? Cost sheet will be helpful. Cost sheet will be helpful to know selling price, to know profit, to know total cost. Are you remember yesterday's class? Why to study costing? 2 objectives. Primary objective. What is the primary objective we told? We told, huh? We discussed or not discussed? We don't read, huh? Discussed. In our previous class, we discussed why to study costing. 2 objectives. Primary objective, secondary objective. I think here I discussed. Primary objective, what is the primary objective? Selling price. What is the primary objective? Total cost. What is the primary objective? Profit. Now tell me, why to study material? To fill up cost sheet. Labor? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to study overhead chapter? To fill up the cost sheet. Why to fill up cost sheet? To achieve primary objective. That is the reason cost sheet is there in our syllabus. Is it clear, my dear? Is it clear? Now tell me, why to fill up cost sheet? To achieve primary objective. Otherwise, we can say, why to study cost sheet or why to draft cost sheet means to know the selling price, to know the total cost, to know the profit. Why to know? That is a primary objective of our subject. Is it clear? Is it clear, or otherwise I have to repeat? Clear? Now, listen carefully. What are the elements of costing, ma? What is the elements of costing? Material, labor, direct expense, overhead. These chapters will be referred as what, ma? Elements of costing. Elements of what, ma? Costing. We can call it as. Clear? Listen. These elements of costing knowledge. Which knowledge? Material chapter knowledge, labor chapter knowledge, overhead chapter knowledge, direct expense chapter knowledge. If you apply in various industries, what, ma? Various industries, then we will arrive methods of costing. We will arrive what, ma? Methods of costing. Is it clear? Clear? My material chapter knowledge, my labor knowledge, my direct expense knowledge, my overhead knowledge. If I apply it in construction industry, you know, na? For example, L&T construction. L&T construction, you don't know. Hyderabad Metro is constructed by L&T construction only. Correct? So many constructions are there. So, if you apply the which knowledge? Elements of costing knowledge. Which knowledge? Elements of costing knowledge. In which industry? Different industry or various industries. Is called what, ma? Method of. Come on, my dear. Methods of costing. If, listen carefully, if industry is equal to construction. What is the industry? Construction of roads, construction of buildings, construction of dams, construction of bridges, construction of metro, construction of railway lines, anything, construction industry. Clear? My elements of knowledge is applicable to whom? Construction industry. In that scenario, contract costing is applicable. Which chapter is, what is the method name? Contract costing. What is meant by contract costing? Come on. What is meant by contract costing? The elements of costing knowledge is applicable to construction industry. Clear? Listen. Why to apply? That is also most important. Huh? My elements of knowledge is applied to construction industry. Elements of knowledge will give what? Three things they will give. 1, sale. 2, total cost. 3, profit. It means if I apply my knowledge to the construction industry, contract costing will be coming. What is the meaning of, what is the objective of construction industry or contract costing? Selling price, profit, total cost. Anything is related to that primary objective only. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me, if I apply my construction industry, if my knowledge in the elements of costing applicable to construction industry, what is the method name? Contract costing. Industry name, service industry. What is the service industry example? Educational institutions, hospitals, hotels, toll bridges. Toll bridge is there now from one place to one place. If you go in a long run, especially in highways, toll gate is there to collect toll charges. That is also service. Correct? Huh? For any service industry, my knowledge is applicable. Then it will be referred as operating costing. What costing? Operating costing. Alternative name for operating costing? Service costing. What is the alternative name for operating costing, ma? Service costing. Is it clear? Now tell me, listen carefully. My knowledge in the elements of costing applicable to service industry, which method? Operating costing. My knowledge is applicable to construction industry, which method? What, ma? Excellent. Next, my knowledge is applicable to the industry. My knowledge is applicable to the industry which is working on the basis of customer request. On the basis of what? Customer request. Whenever customer is requested, then only I will work. If without customer request, I can't work. Clear? Please listen. Just assume today is a birthday of your friend. You forgot the date. Your friend told, you forgot everything. My birthday also you are not remembering, like that. They feel certain guilty. Okay. You went to the bakery, you know, sweet shop, bakery, asking for 3 kg cake I want. Is it available? Is it available readily? Within 5 minutes I want. 3 kg cake is available. No. Shopkeeper will tell, at least one day, prayerly if you intimate, I will manufacture. Clear? If such customer is asking 1 kg cake, is it available? Yes. I want 5 kg cake. Is it available? Answer is no. It means for those industry, whenever customer is making request, then only I will make the 5 kg cake. Is it clear? Whenever customer is making request, then only I will work. I will manufacture the finished good. On that, for that industry, the concept called as job costing is applicable. Which costing? Job costing. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me. For construction industry, what is the costing? Contract costing. For service industry, operating costing or service costing. Which organization is working on customer basis? Job costing. Next ma. Which organization otherwise industry which is working or are manufacturing on batch wise. Example, pharma industry. Pharma you know na, manufacturing of tablets. Okay, listen, in layman language, 10 tablets is equal to 1 sheet. We are calling 10 tablets is equal to 1 sheet. But in science language, 10 tablets is equal to 1 strip of tablet. 1 strip, they are using medical science language. If you use medical science language, 1 strip of tablet consists of generally 10 tablets. But we don't know medical science language, we are using 10 sheet tablet. 10 sheet or 10 tablets is equal to 1 sheet. Correct? Listen. Manufacturing industry, for example, Aurobindo pharma industry. You heard? Aurobindo pharma industry is there. Okay. If you go for Aurobindo pharma industry, they will manufacture only 10 tablets. No. At a time they will manufacture 70,000, 1 lakh, 1 crore. Depends upon the demand of the tablet. Clear? They will, at a time, they will manufacture 10 lakh tablets. They will segregate 10 tablets into 1 sheet. Clear? It means they are manufacturing in a batch wise. 1 batch consists of 1 crore tablet, or 10 lakh tablet, 20 lakh tablet, or 45 lakh tablet. For that industry, the concept called as batch costing is applicable. Which costing ma? Batch costing. Is it clear? Clear? Otherwise I have to repeat. No confusion. Now tell me. For the purpose of construction industry, contract costing. For the purpose of service industry, operating costing or service costing. Which industry is working on a customer request? Job costing. Which industry or any industry is working or manufacturing in a batch wise? Batch costing. Is it clear? Okay. Next one. For suppose, you know oil industry? Oil, cooking oil. You heard Freedom double refined sunflower oil? You don't heard? Freedom company is there. We are using cooking oil in the manufacturing of food. Correct? In the kitchen we are using. What is the name of the company? Freedom double refined sunflower oil. In Freedom, sunflower oil is there. In Freedom, refined sunflower oil is there. different variants they gave. Correct? Correct? Listen carefully. What is my product name? Freedom sunflower double refined oil. Clear? What is the process? Listen carefully. I will take oil seeds. I will take what? Oil seeds. I will introduce such oil seeds into machinery. What is the product getting? 3 types of products. Chala undma time inka. Okay na? Time adutuna. Watch na? Okay, no problem. So if you take oil seeds and introduce into mission, what is the product getting? 3 types of products is getting. Number 1, oil. Number 2, vanaspati. Vanaspati name, it's look like a new name. Dalda is a company name. Product name vanaspati, but we are habituated. Dalda means we can recognize. Vanaspati means we don't know. Okay, anyway, number 1, oil. Number 2, vanaspati. Number 3, waste. Waste is there now, oil seeds. Waste will be disposed at free of cost. They will dispose. Oil, if you introduce in one more time, refined oil. Such refined oil is introducing one more time, double refined oil, our product. Double refined oil I am getting. How I will getting double refined oil? Oil seeds is converted into oil. Oil is again refined. Refined oil is getting. Refined oil is again cleaning. Getting double refined oil. In one process they will get. How many times? More than one process. It means industry which is manufacturing finished good in more than one type, more than one process. Then which costing is applicable? Process costing is applicable. Which costing is applicable, ma? Process costing is applicable. Is it clear? Tell me, my dear friend. Clear? Clear? Otherwise I have to repeat. Till now clear? Excellent. Now listen. Crude oil, you heard? Crude oil. If I took crude oil, if I process, I will get petrol, I will get diesel, I will get kerosene, I will get lubricant oil, I will get waste oils. What is the raw material? Crude oil. If I process crude oil, how many products I get? More than one type of product. In that scenario, joint and byproduct costing is applicable. Listen, I will get finished good in more than one process means process costing. During the journey, more than one type of finished good means joint and byproduct. Slight difference is there, process costing and joint and byproduct. See, listen. I am taking raw material, convert into finished good. How many types of finished good is getting? Only one, but more than one process costing. Clear? I took raw material, I convert into finished good. Unfortunately, more than one type of finished good is obtaining. In that scenario, joint and byproduct costing is applicable. Is it clear? You have to learn everything in a conceptual way. Otherwise, you will get into struck. When you student life is end, when you start professional journey, in that scenario it will be difficult to survive in the job. Without concept knowledge, job cannot be continued. Clear? Clear, ma? Now tell me, when joint and byproduct costing is applicable? Come on, industry which is manufacturing more than one type of finished good, then joint and byproduct costing. Joint and byproduct costing. Clear? Listen carefully. Listen, ma. What we discussed? Manufacturing cost. In the manufacturing cost, we are segregating the chapters. Clear? Clear? Listen. What is the elements of costing? Material chapter, labor chapter, direct expense chapter, overhead chapter. These are elements of costing. These elements of costing will be helpful to achieve primary objective or secondary objective? Primary objective. My knowledge is applicable in various industry. I am obtaining different methods of costing to achieve primary objective or secondary objective? Primary objective. How many types of costing objectives? Two types. Primary, material, primary or secondary? Labor chapter will be helpful, primary or secondary? Direct expense chapter, primary or secondary? Overhead chapter, primary or secondary? Overhead, primary. All the chapters whatever discussed till now, primary only. Contract costing, primary objective. Operating costing, primary objective. Job costing, primary objective. Batch costing, primary objective. Process costing, primary objective. Joint and byproduct, primary objective. Whatever till now discussed the chapters names, all the things related to what? Primary industry. How many types of costing objectives? Secondary objective will fill na. All the chapters will taken by primary objective. What is the chapters for me? That is the reason for achieving what? For achieving what? Secondary objective. Listen carefully. For achieving secondary objective of costing. Secondary objective. What is the secondary objective? Can you remember? Cost control, cost reduction. Cost control and cost reduction can be done with the help of techniques of costing. With the help of what, ma? Techniques of costing. Is it clear? Clear? Now tell me. Secondary objective can be done with the help of what? Methods of costing or techniques of costing? Techniques of costing. Methods of costing will be helpful to achieve primary objective. Clear? What is the techniques of costing? Standard costing. What, ma? Standard costing. Next, marginal costing. Marginal costing. Absorption costing. What costing, ma? Absorption costing. Clear? Next, uniform costing. Uniform costing. Historical costing. Historical costing. Relevant costing. Relevant costing. Activity based costing, etc. So many techniques are there. Okay, target costing, Kaizen costing, so many techniques are there. You will learn in the next stages of your career. Clear? Now tell me, what is the techniques of costing? Come on. Standard, marginal, absorption, uniform, historical, relevant, activity based costing. Listen carefully. Standard costing technique is there in group 1 costing, group 2 costing at same interlevel. Marginal costing will be there in our syllabus. Absorption costing will be there in our syllabus. Uniform costing will not be there interlevel. It will be there in final. Is it clear? Historical costing will not be there at interlevel. Relevant costing will not be there at interlevel. Activity based costing will be there under group 2 costing, not group 1. Under group 2 they will be there. Is it clear? Now tell me, standard costing group 1 or group 2? Both. Group 1 will be there, group 2 is there. Marginal costing group 1 or group 2? Both. Both. Absorption costing group 1 or group 2? Both. Both. ABC group 1 or group 2? Both. Group 2 only. That is a major segregation. Is it clear? Clear, my dear? Now tell me, listen. Now tell me, secondary objective can be done with the help of what? Techniques of costing. What, ma? Techniques of costing. See, for the purpose of standard costing, we want budgetary control. For the purpose of what? For the purpose of what? Standard costing. We want budgetary control. Now tell me, budgetary control, is it technique? No, it is a tool. It is a tool to the useful for the standard costing. So many students presume standard marginal budget or technique, not a technique. Standard marginal only technique. Come on, standard marginal only technique. Budgetary control is a tool to analyze or are helpful for the purpose of standard costing. Is it clear? Clear? Confusion em leda? Any confusion? No. So we will move further. Come on. Now tell me. Up to now, what we discuss? We discuss elements of costing. What is the elements of costing? Tell me. Material, labor, direct expense, overhead. Methods of costing. Job costing, batch costing, process costing, joint and byproduct costing, contract costing, operating costing. Correct? Correct? Okay. Now tell me, what is the techniques of costing? Techniques of costing, which is applicable to the same interlevel. What is the standard costing, marginal costing, just wait, marginal costing, including absorption costing. Absorption costing separate chapter is not there. While studying marginal costing, it is form part of chapter. Clear? Is it clear? Please respond, my dear. Listen. What is the costing objective? Objectives, how many? Primary. For the purpose of primary, elements of costing, methods of costing. For the purpose of secondary, techniques of costing. For the purpose of standard costing, which chapter will be helpful? Budgetary control. Clear? For example, what is the date now? Today? 23rd January 2025. Correct? Last 1 month back, this time, what you were doing? Last 1 month back, this time. Now time will be 3:42. What are you doing? Last 1 month? We don't know. Last 1 week, what we are doing? We don't know. We know only yesterday. What yesterday or day before yesterday? We can memorize max to max 1 week. Last 1 month back, what happened? Last 3 months back, what happened? Last 4 months back, what happened? We don't know. Why? Because we are also human. We have memory power limited. Think in the view of business industry. How much labor paid? We don't know. Last month, how much paid? We don't know. Sometimes organization is paying advances. See, in employee house, one person is hospitalized. Employee is asking half month salary as advance. Organization is given. Next month, half salary will be given. This month, they gave 1.5 months salary. Next month, half month salary. Set off, na? Correct? Sometimes, organization doesn't have money. They are postponing your payment. It means prepaid payments are there, outstanding payments are there, real payments are there. For material we purchase on cash basis, credit basis. So many expenditures are there. Are you remember all the things? All the things you can remember in entire year. Is it possible? Might be possible. Subject condition, very small organization. If you think in the large industry, is it possible? No. Then you have to write. You have to write in a paper mode, pen paper mode. You have to write this expenditure how much, this expenditure how much. Like that you have to write or not write? Right. Such writing, such way of expressing your expenses should be understood by you for all. For all. That is art. That art will be referred as CBK, not NBK, CBK. CBK means cost book keeping. What is meant by cost bookkeeping? It is a art of recording the organization transactions into non-integral form and integral form. Is it clear? Clear? If you observe the here, observe the chapters. Material costing, employee costing. Are you seeing the chapter 2? What is the name? Material. What is the chapter name? What is the chapter name? What is the chapter name? We can say up to now, what is the chapter name? Elements of costing. EC means election commission, not election commission. Elements of costing. Hello, what is meant by EC? Elements of costing. Next, just wait. This is, just wait, ma. Okay. Job costing, batch costing, contract costing, process costing, joint and byproduct costing, operating costing. Up to now we can call it as methods of costing. Next, marginal costing, standard costing will be referred as techniques of costing. Standard costing and budgetary control will be interlinked. Correct? Next, CBK, it is a art of recording. Art of recording. What? Books of costing. How to record? CAS will be helpful. That is a syllabus. That is our syllabus only. That is the reason so many chapters are there in our group 1. So, if you study properly group 1, student will get the knowledge. What is the primary objective? What is the main purpose? I am again clearly telling, any chapter will study with the intention how to recognize the cost. What is the ways to reduce the cost? Is it clear? How to reduce the cost. That is also one thing. How to identify the cost. 2 challenges for the costing students. Without accepting this challenge, if you learn any chapter, you might get passed by scoring 40 marks in my subject, 60, 70 marks in any other subject. In aggregate 200, you will be passed. But you will never get success in terms of costing journey of your professional. In your professional journey, especially if you go for costing journey, all the things should be there in your mind. Identification of cost should be there. How to reduce the cost should be there. For suppose, if you observe, BCom will be there, a course. Under graduation, BCom will be there or not? It's removed, No, there, If you observe BCom syllabus for any university, material costing is there. For their syllabus, labor costing is there. Overhead costing is there. Understood? If you go for post-graduation MCom, if you observe their syllabus, same chapters will be there. If you go for MBA, same chapters will be there. I am talking about costing subject only. I am not talking about any other subject. I don't know also. Clear? It means our CMA inter student having material, labor, direct expense, any other chapters are there. Undergraduation fellow also same chapters is there. What is the difference between you and undergraduation student? Our having knowledge, 2 challenges we can accept. Challenge number 1, what is the material cost I can calculate? I can calculate what is the material cost. Undergraduation fellow also having accepted the challenge. How to identify or how to calculate material cost. But difference will be how to reduce the material cost. Such undergraduation fellow may or may not know, but CM int student we know. That is the difference. Clear? So many senior students are going into wrong direction by hearting formulas, by hearting the problem way of solving. Going into the exam, they will get success. Success is we will get, but we have to differentiate our thing to the undergraduation fellow. CM inter versus undergraduation, CM inter versus post-graduation, they doesn't have knowledge how to reduce the cost, but we have knowledge how to reduce the cost. Is it clear? Clear? Is it clear? Remaining things will be studied in the, discussed in the next class. Thank you so much, ma.